Good Thursday morning to you. Thanks so much for joining us here on CBSN Minnesota's Morning Update. I'm Heather Brown. Let's get you straight up to speed on the news and the weather this morning, because it's going to be another hot, smoky one out there. The air quality alert did expire this morning at 6 a.m., but you can still see that haze, all that smoke coming up from the wildfires in Canada. It's going to be 85. It's going to feel hotter. It is humid out there, and it's going to be even hotter tomorrow. 95. So be careful, drink your water, stay inside in the AC if you can. Let's get talking about this, though. How much would you pay for a 5-month cruise sailing around the globe? Some people are shelling out as much as $200,000 for the trek on board this ship. The cheapest tickets there, $73 grand. The trip is planned for 2024, so you do have time to think about it. When they went on sale, though, they sold out in 3 hours. That's how many people want to leave for 5 months. To go from Miami, it'll stop at 66 ports across 31 countries. So you would certainly see a lot of places out there. Would you drop $200,000 though for 5 months, leaving your home? Obviously, this is way out of most people's budgets, right? For sure. Even the cheap seats there. But let's indulge here a bit. Would you go on a cruise to travel around the world? Where would your stops be? Which countries would you want to visit? Which stops would you want to make? I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching on Facebook right now, leave a comment here and we will read through some of those in just a moment. Climbing cases among the unvaccinated are raising concerns about Minnesota's battle against a highly contagious form of COVID-19. According to the New York Times, our average daily case count has now tripled in 2 weeks, and our positivity rate is the highest it's been since June 1st. So at this point, the mask guidance hasn't changed, though. It says that vaccinated adults do not need a mask and don't need to social distance. But if you're not vaccinated, whether an adult or a child, both the CDC and MDH recommend masking up and spacing out. Some experts we talked with even go beyond those guidelines, recommending masks for people who are even vaccinated in crowded outdoor situations.
It's never wrong to wear a mask, and certainly even if you're vaccinated and you're going into a high-risk setting, a mask just gives you additional protection.
Delta variant now makes up 75% of the new COVID cases in Minnesota. If you still need to get your shot, you can find it on the state's vaccine locator. There's also a hotline there to answer any questions you might have. We put a link on our website, WCCO.com/links. Minnesota's drought is triggering action from the experts who manage our water. The State Drought Task Force met for the first time in 9 years. The group will continue to meet to discuss how to react to these hot, dry conditions. Trees also under stress here around the metro with the lack of rain and abundance of heat. Some trees don't show us their thirst, but other trees do. You see them go limp, the leaves begin to crunch. Some of them might even start changing colors as if it's fall. The drought makes the trees more susceptible to disease and insects as well. About 20% more than normal are expected to die this season, but you can help try to stop it.
That's one of the things we're always after, is getting people to help water the trees, because even if you water a tree once a week all summer long into the fall, 20 gallons of water, we've calculated, and it's like $3. The cost of the water is very minimal.
So the experts say that the best time to water is in the evening, and let that hose trickle for about 2 hours at the base of a tree. It is important to remember, though, at the same time, some cities do have water restrictions in place. We put the full list on our website, a bunch more drought resources up there. We created a special page on our site. You can find it at WCCO.com/drought. As we talked about earlier, the air quality alert is over, stopped at 6 o'clock this morning, so we should get somewhat of a break from some of that hazy weather today. The haze from the Canadian wildfire smoke, it was still going strong yesterday. Doctors say it can be dangerous for people with respiratory issues and anyone who's doing a lot of physical activity outside. Experts say that the drought could cause another air quality alert to happen again. And so some of you have actually sent us questions about these air quality issues, and we want to take a second to answer one of them. This is Mike from Champlin. He asked if he should block his fresh air vent when the air quality is bad. Well, Consumer Reports says that your HVAC filter should catch most of the pollutants in your home. It does recommend running the fan on your central heating or cooling system as the air cycles through that filter. And they say if you're not sure how good your filter is, look for one with a high MERV rating, MERV. The higher it is, the more contaminants that filter will catch. Americans who want to drive across the Canadian or Mexican border won't be able to for at least another month. Homeland Security says that it's limiting non-essential travel to hopes that it'll help prevent the COVID Delta variant from spreading. Last week, Canada said that it would allow Americans to travel there starting August 9th if they're vaccinated, but the Biden administration announced yesterday that it'll extend its restrictions to Canada and Mexico through August 21st. Minnesota could collect more than $330 million as part of a $26 billion opioid settlement. So this deal is between states and opioid manufacturers and distributors. Attorney General Keith Ellison said in a statement, this settlement will bring much needed relief to communities that have been devastated by the opioid crisis. He says that the money will be paid out over 18 years with significant payments in the first 5 years. States have 30 days to sign on, and local governments have until January 1st to join that settlement. Minnesota lawmakers who's made headlines for his recent interaction with police just lost a court battle for a different incident inside a Twin Cities hospital. Representative John Thompson recorded this interaction with police inside the North Memorial back in 2019. This was before he became a DFL state rep. Police say that the hospital went on lockdown because of a fight and they arrested Thompson. Thompson says he was just trying to visit a loved one and that the officers were being disrespectful. A jury convicted Thompson of obstruction yesterday, and the representative spoke out outside of the courtroom after the verdict.
You know, sometimes fighting for justice has legal ramifications, and here we go. But I'll continue to do the work, and I'll continue to be a voice for the people who feel like they don't have a voice.
Most recently, Thompson has accused the police of racially profiling him during a traffic stop. There are also accusations of past domestic abuse, which Thompson denies. Governor Walz and other lawmakers have asked for Thompson to step down. The recent surge of COVID-19 hasn't slowed down airline reservations. United CEO says that bookings are stronger and getting stronger every week. Delta had a similar statement last week. TSA is reporting about 2 million passengers are passing through checkpoints every day, and that is fast approaching those pre-pandemic levels. Lots of Americans drank more alcohol during the pandemic, but it turns out a growing number of people are cutting back or perhaps even abstaining altogether.
I'm looking for a thing that I can drink out and with friends and not have to, have booze.
More zero-proof brands are hitting shelves. According to a market analysis, the volume of no alcohol products in the U.S. has increased more than 22% last year and is forecasted to grow more than 23% over the next 4 years. There's a store in New York that opened up during the pandemic, now sells more than 300 products.
When we first started, we were basically begging some of these companies to send us product. Now we're to the point, thankfully, that we're getting 5 to 10 different companies reaching out to us. Some even drop the product by.
Some people are calling this month Dry July, and the idea is to challenge people to abstain from alcohol while at the same time raising money for cancer organizations. The Milwaukee Bucks fans hoping to snag some championship gear will likely get it from a Minnesota company. Windcraft in Winona started rolling out pennants and other collectibles yesterday. Those items will then be shipped across the globe. Making championship products for a team that's not so far away makes this busy day a little sweeter for some.
When we have a local championship like this, there's a little bit of extra energy and a little bit more excitement, especially in the fans.
Milwaukee fans can expect to find those products in stores later on this week. Probably be plenty of fans wearing Bucks gear today in Milwaukee. The teams celebrate their NBA championship in the streets during a parade. Let's get you back to today's talker. This was the cruise ship, the 5-month trip where you could visit all kinds of places, 30 stops over the time. For the good seats, you got to drop $200,000. To the cheap ones, $73,000. But would you do it? We were asking, where would you stop? And would you even do this in the first place? Our web guy Eric is here this morning to tell us what you said. Hi, Eric.
Well, Jan is on one side of the spectrum saying, anywhere and everywhere, when do we leave?
Ah, yes, adventurer.
Joe says, yes, we want to take our kids in a few years. Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and South America.
Look at this.
Everywhere. except Antarctica.
Yeah, I guess we got a lot of explorers watching on Facebook this morning.
On the other side, Joyce says, Minnesota fits me very well, no traveling for myself.
I'm just going to stay there on land, right? I'm not going to attempt to go out into a boat for 5 months of my life. It looks like a nice boat, though, doesn't it?
And lastly, Brian says, I did a round the world cruise
Wow.
once on an aircraft carrier. So I guess he was getting paid.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you. And thank you for your service. And thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning here on your morning update from CBSN Minnesota. Great to have you here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.